Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Salazar Inside, where today I'm going to look at the topic of, do you really mean what you say? Have you ever said something to someone but you didn't really mean it? Have you ever said something to someone because you felt that that's what you had to say, or that's what they wanted to hear, or that was the expectation? Or have you ever felt that people have said things that they didn't really mean, or that they just said them because they thought it was the right thing to say, or what people were expecting to? If that's the case, that's a problem. When you're talking to people and you're saying things to people, it is very important that you are truthful in what you say, because at the end of the day, remember, it is your reputation of the things that you say or the things that you do. And many times we say things, but the question is, do we really mean them? Have you ever been put in a situation where you felt like, well, they want me to they want to hear something that I don't want to say, but I know I'm going to say it anyway, so I'm just going to say it just to keep the peace. Or sometimes you do something because that's the expectation. You need to stop that. You need to be true to yourself. You need to make sure that when you say something, you mean it. Because many times I hear people say things, but when you look at it, it's not really what they mean or what they feel. And surprisingly, people don't realize sometimes, but your actions speak louder than words. So when you hear a lot of people throw words as like, I love you, I'm sorry, I really mean it. If that's the case, let's prove that by actions. How many times do you hear people say, oh, I love you, but they don't show it in any way? People have a misconception of really what is to love someone. And that's a whole different topic that we know we can dedicate many episodes to that. But as far as if you tell someone, I love you, what are you saying by that? Are we saying that because it's really easy to say that word? You say it to everybody, hey, I love you. We kid around, but it's saying, hey, we love you, brother. We love everybody. But when it comes to the people that matter, your kids, your spouse, your close friends, do you really love them? Do you show that you love them? Because one thing is to say, yes, I love you, but show it. And I don't mean by the big things, buying them great gifts when it comes to their birthday or to the holidays, to Christmas. It's the little things that you do every day. When you say to someone, I really appreciate you, do you really appreciate them? How do you show that? It's the little things that you do. Leaving them little notes, sending them a little email and say, hey, just wanted to say hello, thinking of you. Those are the things that show how you really feel about someone. When you say something about someone to their face, will you say the same thing when they're not looking, or to other people? Because sometimes people feel like they have to say something because they don't want to hurt someone's feelings. But then they'll turn around and say all these other things about this person. But then in front of them, they're like, hey, you're the greatest thing, and kudos to you and everything else. And then they turn around to other people and say, oh, can you believe so-and-so? I just don't believe why they keep doing that. Folks, if you're doing that, not the way to live your life. Be truthful. The same thing goes is when you say something and you feel comfortable with it and that's the right thing to say, don't be apologizing. That's one of the things of Management 101. Many times you have supervisors and managers and people that make a decision and then they go back and they say, well, I'm sorry, but this is what we had to do. If you made a decision and it's the right one, why are you apologizing? Don't say, I'm sorry. Say, this is my decision and this is what we're going to do. Because at the end of the day, if you're saying you made a decision and you're apologizing for it, well then if you're sorry about it, then maybe it wasn't the right decision, so think about it. But so many times we throw out the words, I'm sorry, and things like that, and are we really sorry, or are we just saying that because that's what we want people to say? There's a difference between when you're really sorry for someone because they're going through something or a difficult time, or you can relate to something, versus just saying things that, oh, I'm sorry. Now, many times we say things and we don't even realize what we're saying or why we're saying them. Have you ever said hello to someone or in the morning and say, hey, how's your day? And they start telling you about it and you walk away? Well, then were you really interested? Now, it's the same way as you're shaking someone's hands and they're not even looking at you. Really? Are they paying attention? Folks, what I want you to hear is when you say something, make sure that you're truthful. When you tell someone, I appreciate you, do something to show that you really appreciate them. Now, if you say you love them, do something, little things, to say that you love them. Now, it's funny that here in America, we have to have a one day on the calendar that we consider that we can tell everyone that we love them, or that you tell your loved one, I love you. It's Valentine's Day. right? You know how much money is made on Valentine's Day so that people can tell them one day I love you? Do they really mean it, or is it because it's the 14th of February and everywhere it says you can buy cards, buy chocolates and all this and say I love you? Folks, when you say something like that, right, you show it every day. You don't need a day. It's the same thing when you say something, I appreciate you, or I have respect for you. If you have respect for someone and then you turn around and you're bad-mouthing them, you don't have respect for them. And at the end, you probably don't going to have respect for yourself. Folks, you need to make sure that what you can back up what you say and you mean what you say. At the end of the day, it's about having integrity and believing in your values. So don't tell someone what you think they want to hear, because many times we say things and then we really don't mean them. It's going to backfire. You need to be comfortable to say what you'd say in front of them and you can say about them. And here's the thing, if you don't know what to say, then don't say anything. Many times we feel like we have to say something. Don't say anything. If you don't have something good to say, just don't say it. The worst thing you can do is say one thing but mean something else. Or to say something and but not really show it, not be able to back it up. Because I see this so many times and it affects relationships, it affects people in jobs, it affects parents and kids. You know, you tell your kid you love them, but then you turn around and you do things that really doesn't show that you love them. Now, parenting is a big challenge, right? At the end of the day, we have to discipline our kids. We have to make sure that we do what's right for them, and many times it's not what they want, and it's called hard love. But at the end of the day, you need to go back and, if you really love your child, show them that you love them. Take that extra few minutes to spend time with them, no matter how mad they get you. And it's the same thing with relationships. You know, the same thing at work. If you make a decision and it's a tough decision, don't say you're sorry. Just say this is the decision that had to be done. All right? At the end of the day, you're going to be respected more for it. All right? Hope this gave you a little bit of insight on my thoughts of how people should not only say what they mean, but also behave in a way that reflects what they're saying, and not trying to have a double standard. Okay? Just key thing is be true to yourself. Okay? Say what you mean. All right? Do not just placate people. It'll help you in the long run. It's not always going to be easy, but you cannot go wrong when you say the right thing. Right? I hope you liked this video. Please go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and go ahead and share that, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, we have quite a few videos coming up. And please feel free to leave any comments of any of your thoughts, if you agree or disagree, or anything that you want to share. I'd love to hear from you. And remember what I always say, learn to live and live to learn. Till next time, have a great day.